Welcome to the Bruce Bolt Podcast, where we talk with baseball's best and brightest. I'm your host, Chris Hall, and I'm here with founder and CEO Bear Mayer and one of our newest Bruce Bolt athletes, Spencer Jones, drafted in the first round last year out of Vanderbilt. Now he's killing it up with the Hudson Valley Renegades and high A ball with the New York Yankees Organization. Spencer, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to get to talk to you guys.
So Spencer, tell us, how's the season been going for you?
Season's been good so far. Early on, I've had some success. I've had, a lot of family in town, which has been great. The team is awesome. It's just one of those things where I've been looking forward to playing a full season of professional baseball my whole life. And now it's finally here. So, it's been, more than what I could have asked for.
That's awesome.
Well, Spencer, good to see you. Haven't seen you since Florida. Where was that? Tampa. So happy to hear you're having a good start to the season. Chris, I know you had one question before we really kind of jumped into it. Something about a home run jog.
My main thing, Spencer, is, I think you're being a little nice. You said you're having some success, but I've been reading your clips, bro. And I think you've been doing a little better than just having some success, you're not supposed to read your clippings, you're not supposed to, but I can read your clippings. I'm allowed to do that. And Pinstripe Alley, you've heard of Pinstripe Alley. You don't have to, but Pinstripe Alley said that you were the Yankee prospect of the week last week. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Good to know.
Now you know. Yeah. Now you know that. Went 6 for 13, doubled twice, walked twice, hit a huge home run in his second Hudson Valley at bat. CBS said that you're the MLB prospect to watch, and said they didn't say that you're the second coming of Aaron Judge, but they basically said that. They basically said that, hey, this guy, he could be another really tall lefty swinger, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, now I watched your home run on the first game, just like Aaron Judge hit a home run on opening day. I watched it. I thought that your run around the bags, you were playing it cool. Like you've been there before. Love that. I just wanted to put it out there. If you had sprinted around the bags and done a face first slide into home plate, you may have made the Sports Center top 10. I'm just putting it out there. What do you think of that?
No, you're definitely right. I think that would have caught some attention if I was running around the bases and then dove head first if there was no play at the plate. I'll put that in consideration next time I'm jogging around the bases. I'll try and turn around a couple corners. I might slide into second base, pop up, go run to third. I'm going to do a somersault into the plate and do a cartwheel as I'm going back to the dugout. So.
See, that's what I love. I feel like there's a connection right now between Bruce Bolt and Spencer Jones, and there's just we're on the same wavelength.
Right.
And so I look forward to that. I think it's going to be a great tool to your game. Maybe you might not be a 5-tool guy. Maybe you're a 6-tool guy, 7-tool guy, because you entertain on the way around the bases. Okay. I'm sorry. I just had to get that out.
You gotta sell tickets. They're there to be entertained.
Thank you, Spencer. You understand it's an entertainment game at the end of the day. I just had to work that in there, Bear. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, all good, Chris. I thought it was great. I'm happy Spencer thinks it's great. Maybe we'll see the first ever home run slide into second coming up here real soon. That'd be something. Before we kind of get too baseball centric with it, Spencer, kind of love for the viewers to get to know a little bit more about you as a person. This is your first year playing pro ball. Some people might not have watched you at Vanderbilt. Where'd you grow up and what was life like for you growing up? How did Spencer Jones grow up?
Yeah, so I'm from Encinitas, California, like a little beach town in North County, San Diego. I lived 5 minutes from the beach my whole life. Like we could see the beach from my kitchen. Like beautiful area. I always tell people I grew up in paradise, and that it was like the greatest thing ever. I was lucky. I had 3 older brothers that kept me entertained. Second oldest was into baseball when I was at a young age. And when he started playing Little League, I would just go to the field and watch. And yeah, I kind of fell in love with the game through him. And then once I got old enough to start playing, started, getting affiliated with the Little League and, did that all the way through. Kind of funny. It's like my older brother's friend introduced my dad to this hitting coach. And I used to go and hit with him when I was like 8 or 9 years old. He's still my hitting coach to this day. Had the same hitting
Wow.
coach since I was, 9 years old. Great guy. Joe Pimentel. He's best of the best. But
Wow.
I mean, I lived a pretty cool life. I mean, I lived, it was like a great place. Like that was kind of the thing, is like I lived in such a nice area that was just like too perfect all the time kind of thing. And like, as I got a little bit older and started playing and seeing more of the country and seeing more of like what I wanted to do, kind of realized that like, hey, my area isn't really conducive to like stress or stimulus. Like I need to get out and like do something. So that kind of pushed me to Vanderbilt to get out of my comfort zone, go to the South and go play out there. But as far as, my background and where I came from, like I wouldn't take anything away from it. I'm so grateful to, growing up where I grew up. Parents did a great job with me and all my brothers. And yeah.
Did you surf at all when you were in California?
No, I never figured out the surfing, to be honest. I think I've surfed a total of like 5 waves in my life. I just like to body surf. And like, I mean, I would just go out there, swim for like 30 minutes and then pack up my stuff, get like a burrito on the way home kind of thing. That's what I would usually do with my buddies in the summer. So
That seems fair. Chris, you have something?
I think baseball worked out better than professional surfing may have for you. So I think you took the right path, Spencer. That was a good choice. And it's funny. It's funny how powerful older siblings can be. If they're into something, then it can just suck you in a positive way. Of course, a negative way too.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that story about your older brothers getting into baseball and then you follow in the same footsteps. That's awesome.
Yeah. None of them play sports anymore. None of them played through their senior years of high school. I was the only one that did, but hey, it worked out.
So are you saying that you're the best athlete in the Jones family? Is that what we're hearing?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie about that one. My other brothers can try and say something about me not being the best athlete, but like they have like an edge on me, like ping pong and cornhole. I'm like, this isn't like,
I feel like those aren't a tall man's game though. So
no. And honestly, it's like we're all above like 6'2" or 6'3", but none of us can play basketball. It's pretty funny to
I was
watch.
about to ask, but how tall is everyone else? No, that's crazy. What other sports did you play? You said you can't play basketball, or maybe you said you can't dunk, but what other sports did you play growing up?
I can dunk. I don't
know.
I don't want that getting out there saying that I can't. No, I could never figure out the dribbling and the running at the same time. Never coordinated enough to do that one. I played like, Pop Warner growing up and did a bunch of that football in elementary school and part of middle school. And then I got hit in the head a little too hard a couple times. And then that kind of stopped it for me. And then did basketball in middle school and then cut it off by high school. It was really just baseball all the way through. I did a lot of like speed training and sprint work. So like when I wasn't playing baseball, I just focused on like running faster. And then by the time I got to college, I considered weightlifting a sport. So it's like we would just, lift heavy, and I found a lot more enjoyment in that.
There's definitely enjoyment in that. It takes a lot off your mind, What position did you play in Pop Warner? I mean, were you the quarterback? Were you the freakishly tall quarterback?
No, the coach's kids usually played quarterback. I was I was a tight end, B end, and then they put me on like O-line. I think I was like a guard or something, tackle. Maybe.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
I was going to say, you got the build for tight end, defensive end. It would have been a great fit, but
Right.
Do you think it's good to play multiple sports or just concentrate on one?
I 100% think it's the best thing for, athletes to play multiple sports, because there's only so many ways you can develop your athleticism at a young age, and it's like, if you really pigeonhole yourself into one sport, you kind of limit your opportunity for growth outside of that sport, like it's going to be hard for somebody to develop, explosive habits if they haven't, trained explosively or played explosive sports, and then they expect to be explosive on a baseball field. Doesn't really doesn't really make sense. I think, or at least at Vanderbilt, Corb's always talking about how guys playing multiple sports is always, something he always looked for, and that, he cared a lot about, because those guys, baseball wasn't the number one thing on their minds. The number one thing on their mind was being an athlete. So,
Wow. That's so interesting, because what I see is that there's more and more pressure to specialize at a young age. I mean, we're talking like 5 and 6, at least in Texas, where I am. The specialization route, it starts so early. But what you're saying is that at Vanderbilt, they would look for athletes versus just baseball players, and prefer somebody to have played multiple sports and be formed differently as an athlete in that way. Is that right?
100%. I mean, there's just certain things you can learn in other sports that you can't really learn in baseball, as far as, certain team building aspects, that whether that be in football or, like court vision kind of thing in basketball. It's like, there's not much of that in baseball, but it's like those things translate and, speak a lot to anticipation and other, skills that are hard to develop, but you can gain a little bit faster in another sport. So,
Wow. That's so interesting.
it's the truth.
No, it is the truth. I had a coach that tried to get me to play just football when I was in middle school. And it doesn't make sense, but I will say, just to you guys, we'll keep this between us, but I was the C team starting quarterback in middle school. Just
Go, baby.
You and I could have played together if I would have lived in California. That would have been really cool. All right, let's jump into a little bit of baseball. I remember I talked with you in Tampa about a little bit of this, but we've got more people listening now. So for you, when did the recruiting process start?
Recruiting for me started really early. I actually committed before I played an inning of high school baseball.
Come on. No.
Yeah, way back.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me, bro. You were committed before you played an inning of high school baseball?
Yeah.
Ever. Tell me more, man. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's kind of funny looking back on it. Yeah, I committed February 10th, 2016. So it's like baseball season hadn't even started yet. And yeah, I was like, I didn't even know it was possible to commit that early, And I was just it was like the summer before, I did a bunch of travel ball circuits and stuff, went down to Georgia, did like Lake Point, the WWBAs, traveled around. And then in one of like the big tournaments, I hit like 600 and I pitched, and I think we won the championship. And then I won an MVP. And then I went on it was like after that summer, my freshman year, I just started going on a bunch of visits, like local schools. Cause like in my head, before I played that summer, was like I'll be good enough to go to like a mid-major D1, like go somewhere and play baseball. Cause I didn't think I was gonna be like that good. I was like, all right, I'll go and, play baseball and do my visits and whatever else. And then, yeah, my dad and I did a bunch of like the local schools. So like San Diego State and USD, and then went up to Southern California and Arizona. And then like one day I got like a message saying, "Hey, coach from Vanderbilt wants to talk to you. What do you think?" I was like, yeah, like, come on. That was right after the back-to-back College World Series. So like they were, top of the food chain back then. Was like, yeah, I want to go see what's up with those guys. So went on a visit, didn't know what to expect, but when I left, like, there was something about it. It was like, I gotta be there. Like I want to be there, and committed early on.
That is wild. That's wild. You're thinking mid-major local school, but you're ripping it up. You're dominating, and you're going around. You're visiting these other schools. I mean, were you getting other offers at that time too?
Yeah, I mean, like there was other schools I was talking to, but my dad was like, just wait until there's one that you're like, you see, you really can't say no to, right? And there was, yeah, my parents said they'd pay for one out of state visit, and I was like, all right, let's go to Vanderbilt. And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Good. Yeah. Let's go to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
That was a good call. And
That's incredible, man. Now, with football, the key year for recruiting is always your junior year in high school. But maybe with baseball, it's before you ever even get to high school. I mean, do you feel like that way, that it's younger and younger, and that colleges are watching players like that, or was it just that you stood out so much on the diamond before you even started baseball season your freshman year? How do you see that playing out?
I mean, I stood out to an extent. I think I've grown like 2 inches since my freshman year of high school, right? So I've always been,
Okay.
this big and running around. But, that's one of those things. It's like looking back on it, even though it all worked out and things went well, it's like I also wish that I had given myself time to evaluate more options and see more of the country and get to know, myself better and what I wanted with college, moving forward. Obviously, yeah, trends are that schools are picking up kids at younger and younger ages, but I, I do believe that kids should be able or smart enough to have a little bit of like foresight and be like, all right, I'm looking at, I want to go to these schools. It's rare for, players to commit early, but like the only thing you can really focus on is like you in the moment and getting better. So it's like, you can't really force those schools to come and follow you unless you put in the work to be that kind of player that they're looking for. I got lucky, it's simple as that. And, for a lot of guys, it's just about, developing instead of, chasing that kind of stuff.
Let me ask this too, Spencer. For your parents, how did they integrate with you or help you make that decision? Did they just say, "Hey, Spencer, you're the one who's killing it. It's your life. It's your decision. We're going to support you and help you along the way"? Or were they there, making the pros and cons, charts and graphs? I mean, how did they fit in with you and help you make that decision?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much all me. My dad gave me the reins to my baseball early on, and he just said like, he'd help me, if I said like, hey, I want to play baseball, this fall, he'd hook me up and help me find a or a fall team. But like when it came to me talking to whoever and going wherever, doing, all these different things, my mom and dad would be there. They wouldn't say much and they would just hang out along for the ride more than anything. And then, if there were any like uncomfortable or tough questions that happened, like, yeah, they would step in and be like, all right, let's not talk about that kind of thing.
All right.
So they're always there for me, but they gave me the keys to it early, which is,
Wow.
which is something that I'll, forever be grateful for because they understood it was, for me and not as much for them. And yeah.
That's really cool.
all right. So you mentioned that, Vanderbilt was the one out of state that you visited. Obviously, Vanderbilt is like on the top of everyone's dream board for playing baseball. Is there another school that if they would have offered you, you think you would have picked them over Vandy? Not trying to get you in trouble or anything, but
I'll be honest, like, uh, there weren't any schools that I was like, oh man, I really wish I went there. But, there were a lot of other SEC schools. So I was like, this place is so cool. It's like, I went and visited Ole Miss for a weekend during the football season. I had, some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. Went down to LSU for a football weekend, was like, this place is even crazier than Ole Miss, right? I was like, what? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens this offseason and what the next SEC school is. But, I love all the schools in the SEC. I always thought, those are always the best culture wise and for, student athletes if they want to compete at that level. So
you say you love all the schools in the SEC. You say you love Tennessee too? Or, I mean, that seems like something that can get you in trouble at Vandy.
no comment.
Nope.
You're a wise man, Spencer. Wise man.
No comment. What was your first official visit like when you went to Vandy? And then all the way up to, I guess, your first official day on campus actually being a Vanderbilt student athlete.
Yeah. So like the first official visit was, it was kind of cool. So how they structured it is they have, all the student athletes and then they encourage the parents to come along too. So it's not just the students there. They want, the families to understand that, this is like a family style program that they want, families to be included in what's going on. And it was cool. It was like the first time I got to meet a lot of the recruits. I knew a handful of them going in already, but I didn't know, majority of them. And it was cool. I mean, it was like, I think it was just, we did like tours of, the facility, tour of Nashville. They took us out to eat at a bunch of different restaurants. We didn't do any media day or anything. I think instead of like doing a photo shoot, they put us on a bus and drove us around Nashville at like 8 in the morning. And we were all asleep on the bus. I'll never forget that. That was hilarious. Um, yeah, I mean, that was fun. We did like, there was like mini golf go-karting day. There was a magic show. One of the best magicians I've ever seen in my life, was at this place. And it was all good stuff. And then, yeah, it was like at the end of the weekend, it was like, pack your stuff up, go home. We'll, connect you guys with more information as, things get closer. And then, yeah, first couple days on campus were, it was a whirlwind because it was like, because in my head, it was like, I'd gone, I'd gone back to Tennessee, twice in the 2 times that, because I'd committed my freshman year, I'd only visited like twice, right?
Wow.
Over 4 years. And then finally actually moving here is like a totally different story. Cause you go from California where it's warm and then you just like, all right, out to Tennessee, go live in Nashville, nothing about the area, nothing about anything. I didn't know a single guy other than like Leiter and Volpe going into the place. And I was like, all right, here we go. Right. And so like, it was a tough transition, man. I'll be completely honest. Cause, I was far away from home, meeting a lot of new people. It was like the, big fish, little pond turned over on itself. Right. And so it's like, I'm at this new place on this new team with these new guys and I didn't know how to handle it. School was hard. Like, it was tough, man. And then that was the year that COVID happened. So it just all kind of happened really fast.
Wow. Wow.
I've got a lot of friends who are, playing college baseball and football and stuff. How was it from the start managing the workload from school along with playing baseball? Because I know the days are long and 5 a.m. waits and stuff like that. And
Right.
I don't know how I'd do with it.
Right. I mean, it was hard for me because it was like your priorities are just instantly flipped on their head, right? It's like you have to be able to complete the tasks that they want you to complete. And in the past, like you did everything in your own time in high school, now you're not on your own time. You're on a schedule. And at Vanderbilt, we ran a strict schedule, so it was one of those things where it's like, you got to be on top of your things and you're not going to have that much time for yourself. And that's just part of it. You have to learn how to handle that and then deal with that routine and that schedule and then build your life around that. So yeah, it was hard. It was a hard transition for me.
What did a day-to-day look like, an average day-to-day playing baseball at Vanderbilt look like for you?
Yeah. So luckily in my time there, we never did morning weights. Never did morning weights.
That's huge. That's
maybe like for Omaha Challenge, but we never got in trouble, never had to do morning weight, which was great. It would be like, I'd wake up probably 7:30, 8 a.m., go get breakfast. And then I usually had a 9 a.m. class, a 10 a.m. class, an 11 a.m. class. And then I'd go and get lunch and head to the field. And we'd probably be at the field from like my junior year. I was at the field from probably 12 to 7 every day. Because
Wow.
it was like, where else would I be? Like what else do I have going on? All my buddies are here. I can do my homework in here. I'm going to eat, all my meals in here. And then like, if I'm stressed out, I can go, work out and then go home. I lived not too far from the place. So yeah, it was like, we get done with, like me and my buddy TJ McKenzie, we get done with class at 11:30, 12. Then we drive over to the athletic dining hall, get our food. And then we just, sit in the locker room and say hi to everybody as they came in. So it was great.
Sounds like a blast. Sounds like you had a great time.
Yeah.
How's that compare to your day-to-day now, being a pro?
It's a little different because there's no classes anymore, right? So now it's just all baseball, which is good, because it's like, all right, now you can focus on, the things that you prioritized while you're at school that you technically weren't supposed to prioritize, but you did prioritize. You know what I mean? So now I actually get to focus on the baseball and admit that I'm focusing on the baseball. But I mean, I like it because it's one of those things. you know what you're getting every single day. You know what the schedule's going to look like the day before. It's just about you going out there and then executing and then recovering that night. That's the biggest thing, is just being able to get your body in the right place, start the next day, and then do it over again.
Yeah. I mean, that makes it a lot easier to just say that you're focusing on the baseball rather than, oh, I care about the school too, when I have a good feeling no one actually cares about the school.
Hey, at Vanderbilt, it was no joke though. I'll tell you that. We never missed class. We did every single assignment. No one did anything for us. It was hard work.
Wow.
Did you get chewed out by coach if you weren't in class or didn't get an assignment done?
Oh, you didn't go to class. You weren't going to play for a week.
Wow.
Yeah. Or like he just tell you when you could come back, and sometimes he just wouldn't take you back.
That's rough.
It's just what he expects, man. Can't live up to it, and you're not supposed to be there.
That's how you build a great team, right? Get some character going. As we kind of wrap it up, do you have any cool stories, or, as Chris puts it, epic stories from, time on the road, time y'all got chewed out by coach, or, just playing in the College World Series? Cause, Vandy always makes an appearance there.
Yeah, I got a College World Series story. I'll do, this is my first viral moment in baseball. Cause,
all right.
Yeah.
Give us the good, Spencer. Don't hold back.
All right.
Give us the good.
All right. Well, we're playing Stanford in I don't know if it was the quarters or the semis or whatever it was, right? And, game's going, I'm locked in, and like the feeling of that team was like, man, we are such a good baseball team, but we're not playing up to our level of, execution that we'd had the whole season. So it was like, kind of frustrating, this, that, or whatever. But, we get to that ninth inning, and we're down 1, and, so-and-so flies out. There's 1 or 2 outs. And, Baxter comes and taps me on the shoulder, our hitting coach, and he says, hey, grab a bat. You're going to be on deck here. And like, I hadn't done anything in 3 hours. I was just kind of hanging out, to grab a bat. So, all right. So, Gritton put on all my hitting stuff, and I had so much adrenaline in the moment because, there's like 20, 30,000 people there screaming, right? And, you're feeling the moment. I had some butterflies, and then literally as I was walking up the dugout steps, I was like, this isn't a moment to be like scared. This is like something you should appreciate. This is why you play baseball, right? So I think I maybe took like a warm-up swing and a half, and then Javier in front of me works a walk, does a great job, right? Works his walk, gets on first base. It's my turn. I hadn't seen a fastball in 5 hours probably, right? Because before the game, it was during BP last time I saw a fastball. First pitch was like 95, and I didn't see the ball, right? And just like whizzed past me. It was like, whoa, it's fast. I think he called it a ball. I think the next one, I took an ass out swing, single, right? Put it right in the right spot. That was like my hot zone. My sophomore year of college was just weekly hit ground balls in the 5-5 hole. So put one there, kid throws it away. Runner goes first to third. I'm standing on first. Enrique hits that curveball. I go first to third, and I'm standing on third base. And Corbs looks at me. He says, hey, nice job getting on base, but heads up for a pass ball here. I think if he throws a breaking ball, he might throw it to the backstop. I was like, all right, let's go. Sure enough, first pitch, breaking ball, throws it to the backstop. Doors win. It's great.
Wow. That's great. I think I remember that moment. That's crazy. That's awesome. That's such a cool story to be able to tell.
Yeah, it was super cool because it was like, I don't even know how to explain it. I wasn't doing much at the time, and then had that opportunity to play. Happens, and then the pitcher from Stanford is actually in the Yankees organization.
That's awesome, man.
So
That's awesome.
it was pretty awkward at first, and then one of my buddies broke the ice. Now he's one of my good friends. So it's good. I always make jokes about it with him. He hates it, but
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
All right, well, that's a good lead into kind of one of the final questions. How do you feel, and how did it feel to join the Yankees organization? Obviously one of the most historic and just well-known sports franchises of all time, and it's just, I feel like Yeah, that's something really cool to be able to say that you're going to wear pinstripes someday. Everyone dreams of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's special because there's so much history behind this organization and, the legendary players that have, won the pinstripes throughout, last couple of decades is, it's crazy. And it's, I mean, as far as, going from one amazing program into another, it's like I'm so happy to be in this position and be able to be around so many people that care so much about, this sport, this profession. They, take everything seriously. It's like they want to be out there, they want to win, they want to do this. And there's a lot of drive, without like through the whole organization. And that's something that you can feel when you're there and like when you're working with everyone. So it's a special feeling. And it's something I'll never take for granted because, it's one of those things that's never going to last forever. So I'm loving it so far. And it's like I've learned so much already and I've only been here for probably 8 or 10 months. So, there's so much more to learn, so much more to do. And I'm excited to see, what the future looks like with this organization because I loved it so far.
I'm excited to see it too. I mean, we get Spencer Jones and Harrison Bader in the outfield. What are we going to do,
baby?
That's a top performing outfield of all time, I think. And then you got Aaron Judge too. You can't forget about him.
Yeah.
That's 2, 6, 7 guys roaming the outfield. Like, what are we supposed to do there? Not much. Not much, I'll tell you that. All right. So we've got a lightning round coming up. That's going to end it. But first, I always ask every guy how they found out about Bruce Bolt. Obviously at Vanderbilt, you were wearing Nike. But we're still a small family business. I'm sitting in our office, which is our old house right now. So obviously still very, very family oriented. Tell us just how you found out about us and what you love about the product and the batting glove so much.
This is actually kind of funny. So it was like, I almost didn't even, like learn about you guys. Cause like I'd seen your products in the past. I'm like, oh, those are really cool. And then like go on the website and I was like, hey, I'll save it for another time. And then, but it was like, there was a instructional camp that the Yankees were holding this off season. And I was, working on something. I wasn't in baseball shape. They're like, hey, at least come down for a week, hang out, lift weights, do whatever. Right. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And so I go down there and sitting in my locker is just like a pair of Bruce Bolt batting gloves. And I was like, oh, well, I might as well try these, right? These are going to be great. And so I took them back with me to Nashville and I think I hit every single day and I used the same pair for like 2.5 months. Didn't get a blister, didn't get anything. I was like, hey, I kind of like these. Right. And so, you started using them. And I was like, I should use these for, as long as possible because like in the past, like at schools, like I'd tear up my hands in half a second with Nike batting gloves or rip a hole in my Evo Shield ones I had, or Franklin's, like literally my hands would bleed. So with Bruce Bolt, none of those problems. So I'm loving it. My hands are in as good a shape as they've ever been before. And yeah. Awesome.
Funny enough, that's what Pete Alonso said too. So, I mean, anybody watching this, you've heard from Spencer Jones and Pete Alonso that hands are in better shape than they've ever been. Baby smooth.
It's very true. Like I have extremely smooth hands for a hitter. Like it's not supposed to be the case, but
Spencer, I head up our marketing at Bruce Bolt, and what you just said it's gonna make me sleep better at night. I mean, that was like my dream there. Just say that, just like you said. I just want to put it on record. We didn't coach him to say that. Okay, that was his own experience, and I'm happy. I'm happy that we're working together. You're on the Bruce Bolt team because I see more home runs in the future with the bolts. That I saw the bolts on that highlight clip. That I was looking at the bolts and, sliding into second and, the antics that you're going to do on the way home with more homers with the bolts on. I just feel like this is a match made in heaven. That's what I'm saying.
Right. You're right. 100%.
Yeah, for sure. With the cartwheels and everything we're going to be doing after stepping on home plate.
Right.
Okay, lightning round. Spencer, we know you got to go. You got to hit more tanks.
Go be great.
And you got to throw gas. And you got a lot of things to do. on your plate. So lightning round, just going to ask a series of questions. They're very serious. And no, I'm just kidding. They're not very serious. You just give us a quick response, whatever first comes up. Something that we always end the pod with. Lightning round, favorite junk food, go.
Cheez-Its?
You know, the fact that Cheez-Its fit into the junk food category for you, I think it says a lot about you. You're a
I don't eat junk
machine.
food. Yes.
I love it. I love it. All right, last meal on earth. Last meal on earth.
Gotta be steak.
Than't you.
What
What kind?
Probably just some ribeye, medium rare.
My guy. I'm dapping you up from across the country. If you were an animal, what animal would you be and why?
California condor.
That was on lock. That was ready.
Talked about this one yesterday with my buddies. 13-foot wingspan. These guys were apex predators soaring around California. So just think about the biggest bird you've ever seen and then add a couple of feet to that.
Do you have a nickname? Because I feel like Apex Predator, we need to work that in there. Spencer, Apex Predator Jones. Maybe. I'm just throwing it out.
No, I don't have any nicknames.
Well, just keep that one in your back pocket. I may go trademark it so that you have to go through me to use it.
Right.
I'm just kidding. Favorite holiday and why?
Thanksgiving or Easter. It's like the two of them are right there for me. But Thanksgiving, because, it's family. And we usually have 30 people come over to our house every year for Thanksgiving. We all sit at the same table, have about 3 or 4 turkeys, family, friends, everything. So that never gets old. And then Easter's a special holiday for, my immediate family, my grandparents, because we used to, get all together when we were younger and, have a great Sunday afternoon. So
I think I want to come to your Thanksgiving with the 3 or 4 turkeys. That sounds like a good one.
yeah,
Favorite childhood TV show?
SpongeBob.
I like you. Dream vacation. Dream vacation. You're going anywhere. Maybe you buy a little villa, wherever that place is. Where are you going? You can go anywhere for vacation.
Australian Outback.
The Outback. I did not see that one coming. Why the Outback?
It's just to go on a safari and see a part of the world that a lot of other people haven't seen before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you weren't playing baseball, which there may be a day in the future where you do not play baseball, but it's going to be a long time from now. If you weren't playing baseball, what would you be doing?
I'd probably be in media reporting or something because I love to write. So it's like I would probably find some kind of communication, something within sports, and then either be a beat writer or do advertising or something like that.
I dig that.
This guy
A man
does
of
it all.
culture.
Does
This
it
guy
all.
does it all. He does it all.
Incredible.
Spencer, we've loved having you on the pod. Bear, do you got anything before we let Spencer go?
Yeah, man, keep crushing it. Maybe we'll see him pinstripes this year. Maybe you move that quickly through the organization. We'll see. Just keep putting up numbers.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Bear.
Dude, always.
Appreciate you, Spencer. Thanks for coming on the pod. I'm sure we'll talk again soon, and I look forward to seeing more highlights. Thank
Yeah,
you.
of course. Y'all take
Thanks,
care.
Spencer.